All right, y'all, welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today we have some interesting talk behind the scenes. Democratic donors are potentially plotting to replace not only Joe Biden, but also Kamala Harris at the top of the ticket in 2024. Wild speculation. We'll talk about it. Is it even true? I mean, this is the talk, but is it even true? Anyway, we'll break that down for you. We also have Marjorie Taylor Greene goes on Alex Jones' show, and they basically have an idiot contest to determine who is the larger moron. We'll break that down. We have Nick Fuentes comes out and admits his absolute hate of poor people and poverty in general. Very, very interesting stuff here. But of course, I know the far right are apparently economic populists. My ass cheeks, they're that. Anyway, we also have Jesse Waters on climate change. He manages, I love this clip so much because he manages to invert the conspiracy theory perfectly. Like, he takes the actual conspiracy that's going on behind climate change and he flips it. So I cannot wait to break that one down for you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. And you guys know the drill, all the shameless plugs in the world. Do me a big old favor and click that subscribe button. It helps the show out tremendously. It doesn't cost you anything. And I'm trying desperately to stay ahead of my wife, which I don't think is going to last that much longer unless you guys hook a brother up. Anyway, all right, let's continue here. Let's jump into it. CNN is reporting that some Democratic donors behind the scenes are very concerned about Biden. My guess is primarily because of his age, but then they're also concerned about Kamala because Kamala, of course, has the world's worst poll numbers and is somehow even more disliked than Joe Biden, even though Joe Biden can barely complete a sentence. So there's a lot of speculation, a lot of whispers going around D.C. that maybe some Democratic elites are plotting to have some backups waiting in the wings to hop in there if old Joe and Kamala shit the bed. So listen to this.
The president has announced his reelection. He's raising money and he's opened a campaign headquarters in Wilmington. Still, the questions persist as to whether he's really in it. Even among Democrats, almost all are spoken off the record. As CNN's Edward Isaac Dover recently reported, the conversations keep happening. Quiet whispers on the sidelines of events, texts, emails, furtive phone calls, as top Democrats and donors reach out to those seen as possible replacement presidential candidates. Get ready, they urge. In conversations that aides to several of the people involved have described to CNN, despite what he has said, despite the campaign that he's announced, President Joe Biden won't actually be running for re-election. They feel like time is already running out and that the lack of a more robust campaign activity that they want to see is a sign that his heart really isn't in it. Part of the problem is that his vice president is not a ready-made solution. Kamala Harris's standing is worse than Biden's. Her approval is at about 40%. She was tasked with responsibility for voting rights and dealing with the origin of border security issues, but has little to show for either. And many Democratic polls have not forgotten that she left the 2020 nomination race before a single vote was cast, having distinguished herself only with an attempted takedown of Biden over busing.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm curious what all you guys think. Is this real? Is this actually happening behind the scenes that Democratic donors are kind of panicking and having some other candidates waiting, ready to hop in if necessary? By the way, if they are indeed doing that, then who would be the replacements? Let's see. I'm sure Pete Buttigieg is currently plotting some sort of a coup, a Democratic Party coup. Beto O'Rourke was such a flameout the last time that he probably isn't. I could see Gretchen Whitmer doing it. I could see Gavin Newsom doing it, the governor of California, who's been more and more visible recently. I could definitely see Democratic donors sort of whispering behind the scenes saying, hey, is this really what it's going to be? Are we really going to move forward with this? It seems like a risk. But as big of a risk as it is with Biden, I think they're correct in thinking it's a bigger risk with Kamala. And then it may be an equal risk with somebody like Mayor Pete. You know, he's smug, he's smarmy, he's not liked. He did a terrible job as the transportation secretary. I think among the establishment Democrats, there's some that are more palatable to the general public and slightly less shitty. You know, Gavin Newsom, even though he comes across as a horrendous used car salesman, slimy guy with that slick back hair, at the same time, he also did collective bargaining for fast food workers in California, which definitely was a positive thing. They're doing a public option for insulin in California, which is a positive thing, so it's going to lower the cost of insulin for, you know, millions of diabetics. You could point to some things he did that were good. There's also plenty of things he did that were bad, but you could point to some things he did that were good. Fact of the matter is, regardless of what happens with Biden and Kamala, I hope Marianne Williamson is the last one standing at the end of the day, whether Biden is running or not running. But look, I think I got to be honest with you guys. The thing that's most likely is, yeah, he's running. He's running. I don't know. Are they saying like, hey, if he dies, then we need these people, right? Maybe that's the argument that they're going with, which that's understandable. But look, if he dies, then nobody's going to swoop in there. Even though Biden has a low approval rating right now, no other Democrat is going to be able to swoop in there and like immediately have the same kind of numbers that Biden has. So honestly, if he were to pass away close to the election, that benefits Marianne and RFK the most because they're already in the race. And, they're at 10% and 14% or whatever the numbers are now. And everybody else is starting from Dickie McGeezax, like literally nothing. But of course the media will go into overdrive trying to prop up whoever they're trying to put in at the last second, if it's Mayor Pete or somebody else. For all of Biden's flaws, and even the fact that he's 427 years old, he probably still is the Democrats' best bet. I'm actually surprised to learn that apparently Democratic donors and elites correctly realize Kamala ain't it. Kamala ain't it. And you're better off going with Biden barely being able to get through a sentence than you are going with Kamala, who can complete a sentence, but it's just so incredibly off-putting to Americans because she comes across as the most politician-y politician ever. I love those videos where she's like talking for 3 minutes and says literally nothing somehow, where she's just like filling the room with noise. Like that's her way of communicating as a politician. Anyway, so I don't know. I don't know if the speculation is real. I don't know if it's true. I wouldn't be surprised if they have some people lined up for if Biden, for whatever reason, steps aside for medical reasons or passes away. That I wouldn't be surprised by. Would I be surprised by kind of like a Democratic Party internal coup? Yeah, I would be. I would be surprised by an internal Democratic Party coup. Definitely. Because even though Biden has a low approval rating at the moment, he's still an incumbent president. And if you're an incumbent president, that comes with a tremendous advantage in any election, and that's undeniable. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.